What do you take away from last year's experience playing with Malachi and KJ, and how that's made you a better basketball player?
I think it was a great learning opportunity for me. Definitely playing behind Mal. Everybody sees where he's at, along with KJ too. They both two great guards. So, I mean, I couldn't ask to learn from two great players.
And then, how do you expect your role to change heading into your senior year?
I'm looking to have more of a leadership role and just kind of play my game and work my game into the system, and hopefully everybody can see what I can really do this year.
Being on a good team often means that team has great depth. You were a big part of that depth, but was it challenging to not? I imagine you weren't playing as much as you wanted to. Will you talk about the challenge of not playing as much as you wanted to, but being able to win, and how you balance those two?
Yeah, it was definitely challenging. I mean, everybody always wants to play, especially on a good team like that. I mean, you wanna be involved and have a big role, but at the same time, I mean, that's one of the main things with having a great team is everybody knowing their role. So, I mean, with me taking a step down and playing my role as best I can, I mean, it was challenging, but I was happy to do that, and especially with us winning, I mean, I couldn't complain.
And now the role, it seems, will increase a great deal. How did that time playing behind Malachi help you prepare for the role, much larger role that you're expected to have this year?
I think just the way that he led the team, I mean, I kind of realized what it takes and, like, what a great leader looks like. I mean, because he's one of the most humblest guys. I mean, as good as he is, I mean, he has great character. So, I mean, I know what it takes. I know what it looks like. So, I mean, it was great.
Do you consider this year to be completing unfinished business from last year, or do you look at this year as the slate is clean, we're on to new business?
I think a little bit of both. I mean, we definitely want to finish what we started last year, but at the same time, we have a lot of new pieces, a lot of new guys, so we kind of want to come with a clean slate, but we definitely feel like we have unfinished business for sure.
And with that, you have new guys, but you also have a lot of similar faces and folks that you've come up through the ranks with. When you step out onto the floor and you look at the guys there, do you see them as a whole new world, or do you see them as, okay, these are the folks I've been riding with for 3 years, and let's cap this off?
I mean, with me being my first year last year, I mean, I feel like we have a good nucleus of the same guys back, like Jordan, Matt. We got Nate coming back, Adam. So, I mean, we got those guys that's the nucleus, and we got a few pieces around it. So, I mean, again, a little bit of both.
Hey, Trey, hope you're doing well. With the strange preseason, not being able to have exhibition games, closed-door scrimmages, that sort of thing, I know you guys have had some, intra-squad type scrimmages. From just kind of like a fitness level, maybe knocking off some of the nerves or cobwebs, like where do you guys think you are, especially going into a test as big as the one you have Wednesday, since you didn't have those opportunities to kind of get out and run like you normally would?
I think we're managing that as best as we can. I mean, I think we're in the best position that we put ourselves in the best position by going hard every day and practicing and workouts, just doing the little things we can, team chemistry, stuff like that. So, I mean, I think we're doing everything we can to put ourselves in the best position as if we did have those exhibition games.
And this might be a long ways off for you, but, one of the strange things about this year is the new eligibility rule and the fact that it's not going to count against your eligibility, so to speak. Is that something you've thought about? Is it something the guys are talking about? Like, how do you expect to kind of figure that out, navigate that through the course of the season and in determining whether or not you want this to be the last year of your college career? Thank you.
I definitely thought about it, but I mean, I'm just focused on this year and giving everything I got to this year, and then once the year ends, I mean, we'll go from there. But right now, I'm just focused on this year and accomplishing all the goals we have for this upcoming season.
Last year, the team was 13th in the nation in three-point percentage. In your eyes, like, what is the offensive identity of this team going to look like this season?
Definitely, we're going to continue to shoot the ball. I mean, we got great shooters now, just like we had last year. So, I mean, we're going to continue to shoot, and I mean, that's a big style of our play.
Hey, Trey, could you just talk a little bit more about the transition going from a backup to a starter and a lead piece in the team? It seems like that's one of the hardest things to do in sports sometimes.
It definitely is different, but I mean, it's kind of to an advantage, especially with the two guards I was playing behind, because I got to kind of like just sit back and kind of watch it all happen. So I mean, I kind of can step into the role, like I mean, knowing what it takes and knowing what's required of me.
You know, last year, late shot clock situations and late game situations, I mean, against Iowa, the entire second half was just screen roll with Mal and Yanni. With neither of those two pieces there, do you expect this team to be as reliant on screen and roll, or do you think you'll have a different sort of offensive identity late in the shot clock?
I think we still have that same identity. I know that, I mean, I can come off ball screens and make a lot of the same plays. So, I mean, that's going to be one of our main focuses on offense for sure.
Hey, Trey. So going into the starting position now, is there anything you feel like you've worked on this previous offseason that you're looking forward to getting to use, or are you just going to kind of go in with the same mentality you've been going with?
I've definitely been working on my game, just all areas, even areas that I feel like I was good at. I mean, definitely shooting. But overall, just my mentality is a lot different. So, I mean, I'm just looking forward to just going in with that.
Hey, Trey, thank you for the time. One of the calling cards of Aztec basketball has been the guards' defensive play, stick your nose in it. Obviously, some losing Mal and other guards. What's a challenge like for a new player to come in and play the way Aztec basketball needs to be played, especially defensively in the backcourt? Thank you.
I mean, are you saying what it takes for me to play defensively?
Yeah, just philosophically, what's the challenge like to play the way Aztecs guards play defense?
Oh, I mean, it's definitely a challenge. I mean, to be on the court, you got to play defense. So, I mean, coming in, if you definitely want to give your all on defense and just, I mean, try to make whatever plays you can.
Trey, if you look at your career arc, it's like you've been waiting your entire life, your entire career for this opportunity. You've been so far under the radar. How do you approach it? You know, it could just be a one-year opportunity. Maybe you come back next year and it's a two-year opportunity. But, you know, a lot of guys have had that kind of in the spotlight in a big program, whether it's high school, college, much earlier in their careers. How do you approach it now?
I'm really just thankful and grateful, and I just want to come in and just make the most of it and just come in every day and just try to do everything I can to put myself in the best position.
Is there one part of your game when you look at, particularly in screen and roll, that you feel like you have to step up and maybe people haven't seen yet?
In the screen and roll, or are you just saying in general?
In the screen and roll.
I mean, I think I play the screen and roll pretty well. I mean, that's what I've always done and through JUCO throughout my whole life, really. So, I mean, it's really just I'm trying to make more of the right reads every play, every possession.
Hi, Trey. So far through practice, like what's been one player that's really surprised you or kind of, surprised you more so, like whether that's the freshman or that's Nate, anyone?
I would say, I mean, from the guard standpoint, Terrell, most definitely, and Lamont, both. I mean, but I think all the incoming guys we got have done something to surprise everybody and show somebody, like, something different that we didn't know that they could do. So, I mean, I think everybody kind of shows, a glimpse of something that we didn't know they could do, every day.
Mm-hmm. And how important is it to have Nathan back on the team and fully healthy? Obviously, last year he left, for conference, but now how does it feel to finally have him fully healthy heading into the season?
I mean, it definitely feels good. I mean, just to have him back and healthy, we're grateful for that just in general outside of basketball, but to have him back, he's a great defensive presence. I mean, he's a big body, and we're just glad to have him back.
Since Nathan missed so much time, Mark Ziegler had written a story about how he maybe even more improved on offense because he was a defensive force already. But how would you say that Nathan has improved on offense, and what can fans expect?
I think he's improved on a little mid-range jump shot. His shot looks a lot more fluent. He's got a nice post-up game. And he does the same stuff he's always done, catch lobs. Make little plays, offensive rebound, a little bit of everything you want in the big.
And how does your game mesh with Terrell's? Will you guys be on the court at the same time, or are you going to be switching out for each other's? He seems to be, touted as more of a two guard. Mm-hmm. How do your games mesh?
I think we mesh well together. I mean, anytime you put shooters around me, I mean, I feel like it's a good look. I mean, I'm looking to pass and find shooters. So, I mean, with him, Jordan, I mean, Matt, all the guys that can shoot, I mean, it's a good setup, good lineup.
Hi, Jordan. We just were speaking to Trey, and he's looking forward to having so many shooters to distribute the ball to. How do you see the number of shooters that you have working together with you, Matt, Terrell, and others?
Yeah, I think we can shoot the ball well. We have a lot of unselfish guys, and I think that just goes hand in hand with our offense. How we ran it last year, we made some key adjustments, and we're ready to go again this year.
Will you talk about that unselfishness, because that is a key when you have so many shooters? How does Coach teach that, or is it just something that is part of people's personalities?
I think part of it is part of our personalities, but Dutch makes it very clear to us that he runs plays for guys that can not only get their own shot but can make plays for others. And so if you want to play, you got to be able to make a play for others. So I think that just breeds unselfishness and creates the culture that we want.
Hey, Jordan, we've talked to Matt Mitchell and just Trey right now, and they said they're looking to expand their leadership roles this season. How do you envision your role on the team this season?
Kind of the same way. Being here, this is my 4th year, knowing all the guys, playing with the majority of the guys last year and the season we had, just looking to build off that and keeping everyone held to a high standard on the floor. We want a player-driven team, and so a lot of the older guys can hold the younger guys accountable and make sure that it's how we want it on the floor at all times.
Jordan, is it a strange feel not to have the talent of Malachi and Yanni not there? Because those guys, spectacular seasons last year.
Yeah, they definitely had spectacular seasons, and I wish them well and nothing but the best in their pro career. But, we have a lot of guys this year that can do the same things and can have similar roles to what those guys did. I remember last year, nobody knew what to expect with the incomers, and this year is kind of the same thing. We just got to make the best of it and have another special year.
And can you comment on how different Nathan looks right now as a player in person based on what you went through last year?
Just thankful that Nate is healthy and that he's good mentally, physically, and everything. And I think his aggressiveness and confidence is the main thing that's just made a huge jump. And when your confidence is high, you just play better, you look better, you're faster and you're stronger, and you just seem to have things rolling, and I think that's where he's at right now.
Jordan, a couple weeks ago, we asked Matt Mitchell about playing UCLA, being an LA guy, and he talked about how his dad was a UCLA fan his whole life. What's it like for you to grow up in LA? I know you grew up in a partial USC family, but what does UCLA mean to you? What's it going to be like to play against them?
Both my parents went to USC, but growing up in LA, you watch USC, UCLA. But I like what we have here at San Diego State. I like where we're at, and I came here for a reason. We like to play games like this, and for us, we're just excited.
Is it a little bit of a dream come true for you to play against UCLA? I'm sure you rooted against them your whole life.
No, not really. I'm just excited to play them, to play good competition, and see where we're at.
On a more tactical side, last year with Mal, late shot clock, you were just pick and roll with Yanni. And he was able to find guys, but he also was able to create a shot. How are you going to be different this year? It doesn't seem like you might be as dependent on the screen and roll, at least late in the shot clock, as maybe you were last year.
Yeah, I think we still have a great pick and roll presence, as Trey was talking about earlier. But we also have different options, Matt and myself, and also AG and Nate and Terrell. So I think we have a lot of different options this year. Might not be as reliant, but when we need to, we can definitely go to pick and roll.
Hi, Jordan. Obviously, since last season, how have you just been growing your game during this time off and during quarantine now heading into next season? How have you been able to grow your game since then?
Yeah, during the quarantine, one of the main things I worked on was just being comfortable, being confident with the ball in my hands, ball handling, dribbling in my garage, and stuff like that. That was the main thing that I worked on, and also just getting my conditioning to a level where I didn't have to worry about being tired, and just using the time where I might not have had a gym access, go running on the track or do a stair workout and make sure that I was in shape.
Hey, Jordan, will you be going braids or fro on Wednesday night?
Nah, I don't think so. It's easy. No, just the same as I have it right now. It's easier to shoot. My hair doesn't get in the way.
All right, that seems important. With the strange preseason, I mean, physically, do you guys feel like you're in a place you need to be going into game one since you didn't get those closed-door scrimmages, exhibition-type games?
Yeah, I think we're in a place that we need to be. Luckily for us, everyone's in the same boat, so we can't really complain. We're on a level playing field, and we've done a good job keeping it competitive in our scrimmages and playing extremely hard. And we're confident going into Wednesday.
I was curious, what was your reaction when the NCAA said that this season wouldn't necessarily count against players' eligibility? Just kind of general, knowing what you know about college hoops and the strangeness of this year. How did you receive that news?
When I first saw it, I was excited just to have another opportunity to come back. If that was what I wanted to do, but then had to refocus on this year and make sure that I got the most out of it, being that it is my senior year, and I have no idea what is going to happen next year. So just make sure I'm focused on being the best version of myself every day and getting the most out of this year that I can.
How do you think again, this is a little ways off, but how do you think you would go about making that decision, and how much could, the potential chaos of this season play into it, just because you don't know how many games you're going to be able to play, and so much is kind of up in the air?
Yeah, I don't really know. Like I said, anything can happen this year. You see a lot of games get canceled and things with the tournament and this and that. So I can't really answer that now. I'm just gonna wait till it happens to make the decision.
Hi, Jordan. Last year, the team was 13th in the nation in offensive three-point shooting percentage. In your eyes, what's the offensive identity of the team going to be like this year?
That's a good question. I think we'll have to ultimately wait till we play a couple games and get a feel of how other teams play us, because in practice we always know our own plays and we know our teammates' tendencies. But I think we have great shooters, and I think we have an ability to get in the paint, make the right play, and get fouled. Maybe we'll get fouled more than last year, and we'll just have to see how it plays out. But I'm confident in our team this year.
And out of so far in practice, from what you've seen, have any of the freshmen or the sophomores have any of them kind of stood out to you?
Yeah, they're all good players. I like Lamont's game. He's just tough. He's gritty. He's strong. He's got a good build for a freshman, and he's been playing well.